Aryna Sabalenka might be the most physically overwhelming force in women's tennis, but Iga Świątek is the one controlling the era. And if that sounds contradictory, good, because this rivalry isn't about aesthetics. It's about architecture, power versus precision, expansion versus compression. And before this becomes a popularity debate, pause. This is about which system survives when two elite blueprints collide at full strength. Every decade has a hinge rivalry, one that quietly decides the sport's direction. If Sabalenka's first strike aggression becomes the unsolved problem, the era bends toward power acceleration. If Świątek continues absorbing and neutralizing that power, then structure wins. That's legacy territory. Because the player who consistently solves her equal doesn't just win trophies, she shapes what the next generation copies. And that's how eras are defined. To keep this disciplined, we measure four forces: scoreboard control, who creates pressure first; baseline geometry, who dictates depth and court positioning; clutch conversion, who separates when the match tightens; surface translation, whose identity travels. Everything fits inside those four lanes. No nostalgia, no vibes-only arguments. Structure. Świątek's return numbers have consistently sat near the top of the tour. That doesn't just mean she breaks serve often. It means opponents walk into service games knowing they are under surveillance. Second serves feel exposed. 30-all feels dangerous. Scoreboard pressure begins early. Sabalenka flips the psychology. Her hold percentage on hard courts gives her insulation. When she's landing first serves, she plays free. And when she plays free, she doesn't probe, she detonates. Świątek compresses the court. Sabalenka expands it. On clay, Świątek's heavy topspin forces opponents backward, shrinking their strike zone. On faster hard courts, Sabalenka robs time, taking the ball early and flattening trajectories. The numbers aren't abstract. They describe who feels comfortable and who feels rushed. Comfort decides control. 2022 US Open semifinal. Sabalenka opened aggressively. Flat backhands, early returns, immediate initiative. Świątek was pushed behind the baseline. Not overwhelmed, but reactive. Then came the adjustment. Świątek reduced angles, increased depth through the middle, extended rallies. She didn't escalate, she stabilized. Sabalenka's margins tightened. Not dramatic errors, just inches. And at this level, inches are everything. By the third set, the tempo shifted. Świątek's movement looked lighter. Sabalenka's swings heavier. Clutch conversion. One player absorbing pressure, the other pressing for separation. The match didn't explode, it tilted. That's how structural control works. 2023 Madrid final. Different environment, faster clay, altitude, less time. Sabalenka stepped inside baseline exchanges and refused compression. She took topspin early, changed direction aggressively, accepted risk. This time, pressure didn't erode her, it energized her. Baseline geometry flipped. And that's when a rivalry evolves, when both players prove they can disrupt the other's system. Structural dominance has a standard. Djokovic 2015. Return precision, elastic defense, ruthless breakpoint conversion. Nadal on clay, territorial inevitability. Federer at peak, tempo control disguised as elegance. What made them historic wasn't style, it was translation. They imposed their blueprint across surfaces and seasons. Świątek's clay compression echoes Nadal's territorial model. Sabalenka's hard-court aggression represents modern acceleration tennis. But the benchmark isn't resemblance. It's sustained cross-surface authority. That's the test. Świątek's forehand generates extreme RPM, especially on clay. It buys margin without surrendering aggression. Her backhand is compact and redirective. Weakness? Fast courts can rush her preparation window. Sabalenka's serve is structural leverage, high pace, improved second serve reliability. A backhand that, when clean, is devastating. Weakness? Extended rally tolerance can introduce volatility. Psychologically, they diverge. Świątek recalibrates internally, slows tempo. Sabalenka externalizes energy, accelerates. Both have matured, but pressure compounds over seasons. Injury risk increases with power load. Expectation weight builds, and the field studies both blueprints. Elasticity must continue expanding. Both remain inside prime windows. The next 3 to 5 seasons determine separation. For Świątek, the key is faster surface compression. If her hard court return dominance approaches her clay level, her control widens. For Sabalenka, it's clay refinement and rally tolerance. If she reduces volatility without losing aggression, her surface translation score rises sharply. Era control requires repetition. Neutral ground solutions. Consistency under resistance. That's when debate ends. Rivalries don't just produce classics, they refine systems. Świątek forces Sabalenka to build structure. Sabalenka forces Świątek to embrace acceleration. This isn't about who leads today, it's about who becomes inevitable. If this is the current version, two elite systems colliding near prime strength, what happens when neither has obvious weaknesses left? When power becomes disciplined? When precision becomes fearless? And this rivalry? It may not be the whole picture, because there's a third force complicating everything. In the next video, we zoom out to examine the new power triangle: Świątek, Sabalenka, and Rybakina. 3 blueprints, 1 era, and only one can truly control it.